Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are right at the closing bell on Thursday, September 16th. We're going to take our daily look at SoFi. SoFi, barely a blip on the radar screen today. If you can see today, just dipping a wick back into that gap. So we'll see if that can do anything. Also stretching itself just over this down trend line. But at this nexus point right here, it's about 1540, you see. So it's closing just a smidge over that at the moment. I'm sure Max Payne folks will have a field day with this, being that it's at 1550 on the or on the dot. I was going to say on the nuggin. But we'll see where it closes tomorrow. That's the more important date. And, the degree to which that's occurring in a manipulative fashion, then so it goes. We're in the stock anyway, so just have to play in whatever field the market makers set us on. But yeah, basically, not really much to speak of today. It is nice to see that it was able to follow up yesterday's big push over 6.5% up with a slightly green day today, and it wasn't just followed by a sell-off like we saw in previous run-ups, 4.5 up on this day and then down 2.34 the next day, so on and so forth. So if we look at the 1 day today, we see it bouncing off the VWAP and then doing a quick reclaim, but then quickly losing it, just essentially working really hard to pin to 1550, as you see here, where it kept just topping out. That wall was just sort of indestructible once it had the sell-off in the I don't know if it's late morning, but right at about the half hour to an hour into the market open. And yeah, so just sort of a boring-ish day, if you will. But like I said, it is nice to see a big green push yesterday followed up by not a big sell-off today. So that could be cool. And we'll have to see what tomorrow brings. Now the MACD looking like we could have had a head fake here. Now I was worried about a bearish crossover at this point. And then obviously with the big analyst catalyst from yesterday, pushing us up. So at this point, we have increasing real estate between the MACD and the signal line. Now, can that continue? That's certainly the question. If we can get a big stretch up over this downtrend line, we could certainly make a run towards 16, but it's going to take a big stretch up here, a nice strong candle breaking through this trend line. So right now, it's still sort of under the weight of that. If you extend this over by the wicks, then it's even closer, but we'll leave it where it was originally placed for now. But I would still like to see if there's any possibility of movement through this gap in the near future. Like I said, we're more than a month out from when the gap formed at this point. So it might just be a factor of it moving through different price points over a period of time and not necessarily coming up to fill the gap, but we shall see. A couple of things, and as you know, on Thursdays, I'm a bit compressed for time. So it's going to be maybe a gleefully short video for everyone who drops comments complaining that videos are too long sometimes. And I know that I can be long-winded. Vertex does not want to cooperate here, so let's try to give it a quick refresh and see if that's going to work or not. In the meantime, I'll mention I did pull up these 3 LinkedIn profiles. There's been a lot of chatter around with folks coming in and adding very interesting titles to their LinkedIn profiles. And so Chad here putting himself as President SoFi Bank at SoFi. President SoFi Bank in formation. And so obviously this is spurring a lot of the, when is the bank charter going to come through? When is that going to happen? I know that's November is being thrown out there a lot, but at this point we're just kind of waiting. But it is interesting to see these things coming into play. SoFi Treasurer and SoFi Bank CFO in formation. So SoFi Treasurer, I assume that that's what he's been for the last 3 years and 2 months or so. And then looking for this next new position. But, they're definitely moving folks in. President, SoFi Bank in formation. Vice President, Corporate Strategy at SoFi. So this is another person who's been there for 2 years and has been in this VP role and is now placing himself as president SoFi Bank in formation. But it's interesting, they all have that same type of, they clearly did some work in making sure that it's bank space, parentheses, in formation. So there's some sort of like coordination there, I think, with getting folks to update those in a very similar fashion. Now, if you do a search on LinkedIn and just look for this, essentially, SoFi Bank in parentheses information, you can see all of the people, and the top ones that are going to surface in that search are going to be the ones that have that verbatim in their title. And so we could continue to do that to see if there's any sort of pointing in that direction that, hey, here's the leadership, here's the team that's going to be in place if and when this bank charter gets approved and those things come through. So that would be really, really interesting to see. Let's see if Vortex wants to cooperate now. Okay, so we know what's going on with the cells. We do have additional cells coming in. I mentioned that yesterday. Yeah, yesterday in the comments, because I didn't see it before I made the video, but filed a Form 4 with the SEC, noting the change in the beneficial, blah, 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 blah. So this is Director and Vice Chairman Galileo. So this might have been one of the founders or something of Galileo. I don't know for sure, but on September 13th involved the disposition of 1,119,413 common stocks. Wilks owns 52,802,242 common stocks. So it seems like it's a big sale, but like I've said before, folks have been counting on these shares and options. Well, probably at first they were like, this is a lotto ticket, but then eventually they sort of got bought in and they thought, wow, this could give me a lot of things in life. Could give me security, could give me some time off, could give me a house, could pay my kids' tuition, whatever it might be. And so unloading at this point, like I keep saying, I don't hold that against anyone. I think, good for them. So it's fantastic that he's getting a nice payday here. But I mean, look at the small percentage of his overall holdings that it is. It's a very, very small amount. So it still has a lot that he's holding on to. And we'll see if more comes out from that particular seller. But to me, it feels like it's a lot when you just see the headline. But then when you're like, oh, they own that many shares. Okay. Not really a big deal. Utilization staying at about a quarter. Short interest percentage of the free float, very, very small. So like we've been saying, good riddance to the short sellers. Let's keep them out of it for as long as they are willing to stay away. And maybe it will give us some breathing room to stretch ourselves and try to make another run at that 1629, get out from underneath this downtrend and push forward. A lot of folks having $20 on their radar at this point, feeling like it could be within striking distance. And like I said, we'll keep refreshing the searches on LinkedIn, but this is really interesting to see as we lean in and sort of wait for that bank charter. And what that catalyst will bring, I don't know. There's a lot of folks that think that it could be priced in already. A lot of folks think that it'll just kind of go by the wayside. I tend to think that it could be a really good catalyst. We saw yesterday just a simple analyst output producing a pretty strong green day. Something like the bank charter and all of the clear business upside that would bring to SoFi, that could really move. Now I think it'll have to be backed up with maybe some press appearances, some very understandable press releases of how this impacts the business and what this means for SoFi moving forward. Those things will help a ton in how it's communicated, I think, for investors to really understand the upside potential that brings to the stock. So I'm hoping that internally they're preparing for that. Maybe a little Noto tour, maybe this Chad person or this John person or this Paul person. And certainly their marketing and press team, hopefully they're going to put out a bunch of stuff that's just really geared and aimed at institutions and retail investors and putting it in very understandable language that they then see what this could mean for the stock. And those things combined together, I think, could produce a really big inflow. But you never know. We'll have to see. All right, folks. Well, I certainly appreciate you watching, and I hope that you're able to finish the week off strong tomorrow. I will see you in the next video.